making sure that I wasn't going to get knocked offline because initially when I came on, I was like, okay, that's good. We're good. Let's
Right.
get it. And I got knocked off. And I had to remember that we're in a retrograde. So,
Yeah, because
technology is not going to be as smooth sailing as it usually is. So I wanted to factor in enough time for us to iron out all of the technicalities. So welcome everyone. I love the blue, by the way, Magoon.
thank you.
And go ahead and eat. I mean, I know you don't want to eat this late, but if you gotta eat, do what you gotta do. So I'll go ahead and get started. If it's your first time here, welcome. If not, welcome back. I'm Ashley Anye, an intuitive alchemist and energy reader, and I'm just here to help y'all heal. And we're healing with humor because laughter is always the best medicine.
Yes.
Talk to these people, B.
I am B. I am Magoon. I am whatever spirit needs me to be at that given moment in time. I am just the instrument for how spirit wishes to use me at that time. So you may see me pull cards, you may not see me pull cards, but give messages. But they're all coming from the same place, the heart space. And my heart space, our heart space, wants you to be healed. We want to make sure that no matter the conversation, that you find healing in it, that you find resolution in it. Whether we have to tap those hands, make you laugh, or make you go back uh, a few years, maybe a few decades, and remember some things and bring you back. So that is what we're here to do. And thank you for joining.
That's right. And this is a judgment free zone. So you'll always hear me say, sit back, grab your yak, your snack, and relax because 40 minutes of cards and conversations is like 4 years of college. And if you're going to chill with us, you might as well build with us. Okay? Because we're going to hold it down the whole night. So
Right.
relax. This is a judgment free zone. If you guys have questions, comments, or concerns, we usually say that towards the end for ask me. But of course, if you have a question, comment, or concern pertaining to the subject at hand, what we're talking about, drop it in the comments. You know what to do. Those that know. So welcome all of our new and returning viewers. We
Mhm.
appreciate you guys rocking out with us. And as always, we'll make sure that we save the lives. So in case you missed anything, you can catch the replay. Now, what are we talking about today? Me being late should have explained what topic we're talking about today, guys. All right? We're talking about Venus and Mercury being in retrograde. Venus in the sign of Aries.
Hold on. Before you
Mercury in the
begin,
sign.
really quickly,
Yes.
for those that are online, can you see Ashley?
Oh yes, that should have been question number one. Can you guys see and can you hear me? More importantly,
Like I can hear you, but I cannot see you, but I know you there.
oh you can't see me.
No,
Ooh,
but
I don't like that.
but as they
I
say, the
don't
show
like
must
that.
go on. But you can see me, and most of the time
I
it's
can
the
see you.
opposite.
Yes.
Okay,
Thank
so
you, Sheree.
thank you,
Sheree can
Sheree.
see it. Thank you,
Yes,
goddess. Thank you so much. Ashe, ashe, ashe.
yeah.
Okay, so I can see, or they can see me. I can see my damn self, and I can see you. Sometimes it be like that. I don't know why.
Excuse me. Yes, it does.
We're gonna the show must go on. So
It
let's
must go
continue.
on.
Are you okay with me going right into the conversation, or
Oh
is
yes,
this your?
absolutely. In fact, I was going to say that we should do the conversation first, and then after
Okay.
all of that, get what the message spirit wants to say to the collective after hearing that.
All right then.
Mm-hmm.
You like it? I love it. Okay. So as I was saying, we are discussing the planets that are currently in retrograde. We are discussing Venus, which is in retrograde in the sign of Aries, and Mercury, which is retrograding in the sign of Pisces. So what does this mean for your sign? Well, this is going to blur a lot of communication. For a lot of people, it's going to bring up a lot of past issues, emotions that you might want to rehash, revisit, revamp, or just release. so this
Mm-hmm.
week, and it's going to bring up past emotions of maybe some childhood wounds that you guys have not dealt with. So we are going to deep dive into that tonight because it is very important that you guys are prepared for these retrogrades. They come and sometimes they wreak havoc on our lives, but they don't have to. If you are prepared, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. And all of these planetary
Mm-hmm.
shifts have an effect on our emotions, on our lives, and on the people that are around us. And if you don't realize that by now, realize it now. Realize it at this very moment. From this moment on, nothing that happens to you in your life is a coincidence. Everything has a purpose, a place, and everything is purposefully done for you, not to you, for you.
For you.
And if you know that, then you will grow through every situation that happens to you. So let's talk about this cosmic chaos that's going on, because it doesn't have to be chaos, but it's going to be chaos for a lot of people because they're not prepared. But you're going to be prepared, so it's not going to be chaos and
Mm-hmm.
confusion for you. Okay, so tonight we are diving into some astrological insights for a powerful and challenging time that we have ahead. As I said, Venus is currently in retrograde in the fiery sign of Aries. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. It's considered the baby. And so, what is Aries? It's youthful, but it's also fiery. It's ruled by Mars. Mars is the planet of action. And so, if you know what Aries, those that know, they are all about, listen, this is what it is. I'm very adamant about this, and this is how I feel. They're very assertive. And like I said, they're the babies of the zodiac. So if you see an Aries, you'll notice that they have a very youthful look to them or youthful energy, and they're playful. But their sign is the ram. So I'm talking ram in a china shop. If an Aries wants something done and they feel like they can't get it done, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be a problem. So you might have that energy. You may be harnessing that energy in your relationship, wanting to get something out that you have been holding and harnessing in. So make sure that you guys are speaking your truth and you are living in your truth during this time, as well as Venus being in the fiery sign of Aries. We have Mercury in retrograde in the dreamy sign of Pisces. Okay, so you might be feeling a little bit of confusion when you think about Piscean energy. It's very dreamy, it's very imaginative, and it's very in the air. I hate to say like delusional because that term has like a negative connotation attached to it, but you guys might be in like a delusional state of mind when it comes to certain situations. So spirit is urging you guys to face these situations head on for what they are, not looking through rose colored glasses. And this is why these retrogrades happen, so that you guys can tackle any and every issue head on and look at it for what it is and not
Yep.
for what you guys want it to be or for how you might have been seeing these things. Okay, so let's break down what these retrogrades mean for each sign, for each zodiac sign. I'm going to overview of what to expect and how to navigate these cosmic shifts so that you are ready for anything that's going to come up. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, when I read it from my side, I was like, yo, this is exactly what I'm experiencing now, like down to the T, down to the T. And so I know it's gonna be the same for you guys. But as always, take what resonates and leave what doesn't. It might not resonate with everyone, but take what does resonate and leave what doesn't. So of course we're gonna start off with the Aries, the baby, the first sign of the zodiac. And this is if your birthday is between March 21st through April 19th. Okay, so with Venus retrograding in your sign, Aries, 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 you may find yourself revisiting old relationship patterns or reflecting on your self worth. This may stir up unresolved emotions or past connections. So make sure you're using this time to reassess what you truly desire in love and your personal expression. Like I said, Aries is ruled by Mars, the planet of action. Express. You've been expressing yourself, but how it is imperative for you guys to express yourself, especially in relationships. Um, non-platonic, okay? Especially in relationships involving love interest relationships. Please express yourself. Mercury in retrograde might also bring up misunderstandings in communication, which is why it's important for you guys to express yourself. Because what happens when you don't communicate? They just get lost in translation. So Aries, all of my Aries people, use this time to communicate clearly and effectively. But gotta stay patient. Okay, you are a fire sign. Myself being a fire sign, I understand how it's hard to stay patient and to stay consistent with being patient. But during this time, it's best to be patient and double check details before you make a final decision. A lot of things get lost and end up during retrograde, okay? Because the planets are slowing down. A lot of people think that the planets are going backward, but that's not necessarily true. Retrograde means the planets are slowing down. So
Mm-hmm.
that means that you need to slow down. Double check things, make sure the things are done efficiently and accurately, but just remember to slow down. All right, so that's for all my Aries. Have Taurus. This is the bigger things between April 20th and May 20th, okay? So Venus in retrograde is taking place in your house of subconsciousness. Remember, your subconscious is not thoughts that you are conscious of. These are thoughts that are in the back of your memory bank. Because your memory bank remembers everything that has happened to you since birth. Matter of fact, don't forget that you were in the womb. So your subconscious is not things that
Yes.
you are conscious of, but it's things that your mind has remembered. And sometimes it'll come up in a relationship, it'll come up sometimes in a conversation. You just never know when you're going to be reminded of something. So these are things in your subconscious. So expect to confront hidden emotion. That's why subconscious is hidden. Or old wounds that affect your relationship. It's a great time for healing, but be careful. Be careful not to get caught up in past regrets. Okay. And while Mercury is retrograding in your 11th house, this could also mean miscommunication with friends or in group settings. So be extra clear with your intentions. So very similar to Aries. Make sure that you are clear in the way you are communicating, that you are clear and in how people are understanding what you're trying to say. Just make sure that when you communicate to people, you're pretty much straight shooter. Be a straight shooter. Usually a lot of Tauruses are, but this time make sure you're extra clear when you communicate. Next, we have my Gemini. Your birthday is between May 21st and June 20th. This is for you. As Venus retrogrades in your 11th house of friendships and social networks, expect some old connections to resurface. And this usually only happens during retrograde. You have a lot of blasts from the past
Mm-hmm.
coming to the forefront. You get that late night text. You get that late night what it do, Shody? And this is retrograde. This is
Listen.
a chance for us to rehash, revamp, or release what we know is no longer serving us. But retrograde has to happen to give us that opportunity to analyze. Okay, well, want to revisit it? Do I even want to rehash it? Or should I just go ahead and release it and just welcome in new energy? So this is why retrogrades happen. All right. So it's going to ask you whether you want to rekindle old romances or old friendships. Okay. It's also going to have you reevaluate your social circle. So people that have been in your circle socially is going to ask you if you want to be a part of those circles anymore, or have you outgrown them. This is the time for reflection.
Mm-hmm.
Reflect. Reevaluate, and then decide if you want to release. Mercury retrograding in your 10th house of career could also lead to misunderstandings with colleagues or a shift in professional goals. So be cautious about making big career moves during this time. So all of my Geminis, thinking or considering changing careers, put a pause on it. Okay? Like Lil Scrappy said, put the pause on it. No, put a pause. Not just pause. Put a pause. If you're considering switching jobs, wait. All of the experts, all of the astrological experts always advise people that are considering making big changes not to do them during the retrograde. They always advise you not to sign big major contracts in the retrograde
Mm-hmm.
or marry people during the retrograde or get into new relationships during the retrograde. So for all of my Geminis, if you're considering a big career change, now is not the time to do it. Just reflect, evaluate, and then after retrograde is over, you can consider. But a lot of people a lot of experts advise you not to try anything big or not to try anything new or make any big decisions or shifts during retrograde. All right, Gemini, so just hold tight, okay? If you're unhappy in your career, hold tight now. It's not the time. Switching lanes, all right? All of my answers, back to you. June 21st to July 22nd. The Venus retrograding in your house of career and reputation. You might be considering your past or dealing with professional issues. This period could bring both challenges and opportunities to release your life, your long-term goals. Okay. So Mercury retrograding in your ninth house of higher learning might cause travel plans to go away or create confusion in your belief system. So stay open-minded and flexible. Like I said, this really happens during retrograde. You find out you get to the airport, your flight's canceled. You make it to the stoplight and it completely goes out. Right? Technology is just going to be like this during retrograde. Okay, and
Exactly.
it can cause some friction or some delays, but be that as it may, all of these things have to happen. You're supposed to be on that plane. Maybe they're holding you at that airport because the weather is bad wherever your final destination is. Hey now! So make sure that you guys are, make sure you don't have the mindset, why is this happening to me? It's happening for you for a reason. Okay? All of my cancers, okay? Stay open minded and stay flexible. Next we have Leo. If your birthday is between July 23rd and August 22nd, this is for you. So Venus retrograde in your Venus is retrograde in your ninth house of expansion and philosophy, which can bring up questions about your beliefs, travel plans, and what you truly want to explore in life. Okay, so it's
Mm-hmm.
time for an inner growth. It's time for that inner growth. Leos, possibly revisiting places or ideas from your past. Mercury retrograde in your eighth house could bring up past financial issues or relationship dynamics that need to be revisited. Pay close attention to contact or shared resources. When I'm talking about sharing, I'm talking about if you're sharing resources with someone or if you're in a business contract with another person, pay close attention to it. A lot of things that are shiesty or shanky may be happening.
Mm-hmm.
Year ago, you're saying my phone needs to cool down. The devil always works. I swear. Always works.
Always
Right when I get to Leo, right? They love being
fiery,
funny. So you
fiery.
got hot when I got to Leo. Come on now. Come on, Leo. Um, this always happens. I have to get this checked out. I hate when it says that because the music could possibly cut off, but we're not going to claim it. We ain't claiming that
We're not
tonight.
claiming that
All right?
tonight.
So, okay, not tonight. If you have shared resources, whether it be streaming, whether you're the pool of pyramid scheme, whatever the case may be, videos, make sure that you are double checking the fine print and the detail and making sure that nothing shiesty is going on. You guys still hear me? Because I see that my lips are not matching up with what's coming out. Um,
But yeah,
Let me know you guys can still hear me.
we can hear you clearly. Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me just take a sip. All right, let's keep it moving. Next, we are at Virgo. Hashtag September 22nd, with Venus retrograding in your eighth house of intimacy and shared resources, you might be experiencing a deeper look into your relationships, especially when it comes to trust and finances. This is a time to release old attachments or clarify misunderstandings in close relationships. Mercury retrograding in the seventh house of partnership could lead to miscommunications with a significant other. Work on patience and promise, okay? Virgos are always paying attention to the fine print and to detail. A Virgo, they don't miss nothing. If you want a contract looked over, give you a Virgo. If you want somebody to analyze the situation, get you a Virgo. They don't miss nothing. Pisces is the most intuitive sign. Get you a Virgo. Get you a Virgo in a situation to read them. Okay? A Virgo can read you like a book. So, Spirit is urging you guys to pay attention, to continue to pay attention to the fine print, but also work on patience and performance, because Virgos are the builders of the zodiac signs. So they like to build things from the ground up, right? So make sure that when you are building, you are paying attention to detail. You're not just seeing your vision, but you're seeing the vision as a whole. And that means paying attention to everything, not just what you want to see, but what's actually there. All right? Let's go on to Libra, September 23rd to October 22nd. Venus is retrograding in your seventh house of relationships, which may bring up past issues in your romantic life or partnerships. It's a time to release what you value. It's a time to reassess or release it, okay? Because spirit people, okay?
Listen, and will remove people.
That was for somebody. Maybe it's time to release.
Mm-hmm.
But I meant to say it's time to assess what you value in your relationships or release, and consider what is no longer serving you. Mercury is also retrograding your sixth house of daily routine and health, which can cause glitches in your work or health routine. So, remember, you must be mindful of small details and don't neglect your self care. And I have to remind myself of that every single day. I was looking over my birth chart and it said, my house of health, I'm too busy to get sick. Like I'm always on the run. So it's impossible for me to get sick because I'm always ripping and running. But if you guys didn't know, stress is also the number one cause of illness. So
it is.
I think you take care. Even if I'm not physically coughing at or season, if I'm not taking care of my mental health, that's just as bad as being physically sick. So make sure that you guys are taking care of your mental, physical, emotional, and most importantly, spiritual.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Let's move on to Scorpio. October 23rd to November 22nd. All of my sexy Scorpios, this is for you. Venus retrograding your sixth house of health and daily routine. You may feel a pull to reevaluate your work-life balance or revisit past health issues. Don't ignore any warning signs in your body and focus on creating a sustainable routine. Mercury retrograding in your fifth house of creativity could bring creative works or understand this with children or lovers. I know I've been getting a lot of pushback from my teenager. Full child, trolling time. Take a step back and reevaluate how you express yourself, all right? So, Mercury retrograde is happening in your fifth house of creativity, so you may feel like you're being blocked with being creative. So, one thing I recommend, sexy Scorpios, is to light a orange candle, because orange represents creativity, and just sit and meditate, okay? Allow the energy, allow the impact of that candle to just move through you. And don't forget that you got this, okay? You've been there, you was always there, always will be it, okay? And just don't let a temporary transit shift knock you off your block, okay? This is happening for a reason. I keep saying that because it's true. It's happening for a reason. And it has to happen in order for you to get in alignment, okay? It's course correction. As my brother always says, to get you in alignment, okay? So don't ever think that that you lost anything, you're just being more understanding. Now we have my Sagittarius, and I said sexy because I'm a Sagittarius. Okay, November 22nd through December 21st. Venus is retrograding in our fifth house of creativity, love, and self-expression, which can make us reflect on our romantic life or creative passions. Past loves may resurface, or you may feel like we're reconsidering our approach to creativity. Mercury retrograde is in our fourth house of home and family. So it may bring up old family issues or miscommunication with loved ones. So now is a good time for home improvement, but be cautious with certain decisions. And like I said earlier, like I can see why this is so true. I have been literally remodeling every room in my house. Every room. Like I just want to just change everything. But I'm not making major changes. So all of a sudden, thinking about just taking a bulldozer and knocking everything down. Pause, okay? Pause. The right to change that picture in the living room is okay to get some more china. The dust is showing us off. But if you're thinking about completely abandoning any projects or building a house from the ground up, just pause, okay? Like, put the brakes on. All right, this is now is not the time to do that. Minor, minor home renovations right now. Minor, very minor. Next, we have Capricorn. With Venus retrograde in your fourth house of home and family, you could be visiting old family dynamics and considering a shift in your home life. Emotions related to your past may surface, like using time to heal and reframe your physical space. All right, Capricorns. Um, Mercury retrograde in your third house of communication could cause mix-ups in everyday conversations or travel plans. Be clear with your words and take extra care with technology because we all know technology is always looking up during retrograde. Okay, so make sure that you are taking care of that computer, of that iPad. Lord, almost that Walkman. I'm showing my age right now.
Hey, somebody out there has one. Somebody out there has one.
Listen, I got one lying around here somewhere, but why am I thinking of all of these old things that we used to use back in the day? So what that makes me feel like is that we need to just maybe remember what we had, appreciate it, and value it, so that we can focus on things. That's what's really laying on my heart because I can't think for the life of me why I was using Walkman and two-way pager. Girl, get with the program.
You took it way back with the
Okay,
pager.
and two-way pager. Like,
Right. I was like, wait, what?
I'm showing my age tonight, Bessie.
Shoot, that was that iPhone of the 90s. Quit playing. You know, you can receive and send messages. Oh yeah, I need one of those.
That's why I did it. Reason behind it because why am I thinking of that people? Out of the box thing that the parents is a great third house of communication. It's a misunderstanding. It's a great time to connect old friends with their past conflicts. Mercury retrograde in your second house of finances, of financial challenges, and what you value. So double check that budget. Don't overspend. Consider your long-term financial goals. So now is the best time to plan out what you need to have this time, how much you need to have saved for the project. Now is the time to be all all on the budget, as Candy Bird always says. So that's to make sure you questions, bring up old issues and so forth, concerns, make sure you assess them with what you need, what you desire. This is all tied into looking through glasses. Think about what you need, okay? What's tangible versus what you desire based on illusion, okay? Think about that. Really sit with yourself and think about that, okay? Mercury retrograde in the first house of self could lead to confusion around your identity or how others perceive you. So it's time for self-reflection and avoid major changes in appearance or personal projects during this time. So Pisces is probably considering getting a health job or that clip or that Botox. Just put a pause on it, okay? So face that. Maybe just put like when the clothes do, that'll do it. Listen, don't make any major decisions now when it comes to cosmetics, okay? Very divided. Put a pause on it and really focus on personal projects and self-reflection, because if you do something dramatic or drastic after retrograde is a possibility that we want to reverse the assumption, especially when it comes to cosmetics or cosmetic surgery. All right. So that's something to put down. Like she's really excited during retrograde planet. During retrograde periods. So for the retrograde can often be intense times, but they offer opportunities for growth and course correction. As release the line, revisit things that have been coming back from. It's time for you guys to face them head on. And desire. So take it slow, stay patient, and use this time wisely. Okay. And if I don't have any questions about any of the zodiac signs, just give a short overview on. I'm going to pass the mic over to my wonderful bestie so that he can read.
So there was two things that I had to do that I first wanted to say before I did the cards. The first was when you were talking on Virgos, uh, when you was on Virgo. I heard this loud and clear, but I was told that it was for everybody watching and that who will watch. And it says, "Who told you that you could not do it?" So who told you that you could not do it? And if I'm not mistaken, Virgo was all about projects or doing something with projects. Um, so who told you that you couldn't do it? Is that the voice in the back of your mind that's telling you conversations that you had when you was a kid or when you were a teenager, maybe even 2 weeks ago, somebody said, "I don't think that you should do that." And the spirit is asking, excuse me, at this time, whose voice are you listening to? Are you listening to the white noise or are you listening to me? Because if I'm telling you that you can do it, that means I have gifted you with everything that you needed. That the things that you will need, I'm going to provide it for you. I just need you to understand that you can do it. Yep. And then for the, I see that. Thank you. And then for when you're on Scorpio, so I don't know whoever's watching. I don't know if you is named Kim or if you know Kim that's a Scorpio, but I heard uh, this is for Kim. So I heard that loud and clear too. So if you know a Kim that is a Scorpio, please pass this video to her. And if she does not have Instagram, please come find me on my YouTube, and she will be able to hear the message that way. But definitely message to
heard that? Kitty. Hello.
Funny is that I also heard Kimmy, but I think that's because I was thinking about the show. Um, so I had to pull from my spiritual AF card, and for those who have watched me before, y'all know these are not so nicely delicate cards, but they tell you what you need uh, to see, say, and stop doing, right? And they tell it to you in a way where it's like straight liquor, no chaser. It's gonna hurt, but it's gonna make you feel good in the end, right? So with that, the first card says integrity is the new black. It says integrity means having your actions match your values. Most of the time, integrity takes a lot of not doing stuff, not smacking people, not yelling at people, not talking shit, not stealing stuff, not lying, not littering, and not eating your roommate's last gluten free, soy free, vegan pizza roll. When the temptation is strong to do the bad thing, sometimes it helps to write down the good thing and put it in your back pocket. It's so hard to justify smacking someone when you have your ass pressed up against the word compassion. Okay. The
So
next
a
one,
little bit more compassion. I love that.
right. And it's that check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Check
Like,
yourself.
check
That's what I was thinking
yourself.
about.
Check
Check yourself.
yourself.
Yeah.
Because and I was going to say, and when you think about the color black, I know that so many people think that the color black is so evil, demonic, things like that. But what do you use when you go to what is it, like a cocktail party? They tell you to get your little black dress, wear your black and white because it gives that
She.
ambiance, that chic. That's what I was looking for. That chic look. It is the nice look, and you can never go wrong with black and white. And so, thank you. Okay, so spirit gave me like a double meaning for that. So, because you can never go wrong with black and white, which means that you know right from wrong, right?
Ooh.
So, no longer giving the oh, I didn't mean to do that. I wasn't really clearly. No, you meant to do it. Spirit is checking you for not checking yourself because you know it's plain black and white, which is why the last line says it's hard to justify smacking someone when you have your ass pressed up against the word passion.
Somebody out there.
Yep. And then the second card that came out says, when you are wrong, admit it. When you are right, be quiet. And the word that comes to me before I look at the back is humbleness. Sometimes we have to be humble in this season. And I believe you did say that there was one sign that needs to hold their tongue. Please do.
Maybe different.
Please do. Because you might say the wrong thing to the wrong person at the wrong time. And we don't know what type of implications. I'm not going to speak over your life or what those implications could be, but there could be some sort of implication or reprimand or something that could be damaging to you and who you are authentically. Somebody might get you on a bad day, and based off of that, say, "Oh, this is really mean and irate." Da, 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 da. And they go around telling everybody. And then when you get there, everybody's looking at you like, I don't want to deal with you. They have heard you are irate and all these things, all the and you may not. So that's why it is important sometimes to just let it go.
Breathe.
And also, as we say, no response is also a response. And then the next card that came out is, and ironically, it matches my shirt. I just wanted to point that out. Um, it's up to you to find beauty in the ugliest days. Everyone survives some super shitty days. But even when it comes to those crappiest of crap days, if you look back, you can pretty much always find something beautiful. Maybe someone was unexpectedly kind to you, or for a split second, the startlingly gold sunset made you forget life was crumbling. Or perhaps there were donuts with sprinkles at your first AA meeting. The trick is to train yourself to spot the beauty in that very moment, aka real time. It makes the ugly days a little less ugly. And as I was reading that, I began to hear, we also this is that same energy of speaking positive over situations that appear to be negative. So, for
Right.
example, you know how they all we always joke and say, "Oh my goodness, I should have filled up my gas tank at that last exit, and now I don't know where's the next gas station. Oh my gosh, God, universe, can you please help me get to the next gas station to get the gas?" And we get it. We make it right. Well, at least that's my can't speak for everybody, but I make it to the next gas station. But it's also the saying, I'm going to give you exactly what you're asking for, but know that you can ask for more. Know that you have to say, can I make it to the next gas station? But say, I'm going to make it to the next gas station. I'm going to get a discount on these high gas prices, and I'm going to fill my tank up for half because it would have taken me to fill it up back at home. And when you put those things together, the universe has to shift. That is the inner workings and the workings of what people call spells/prayers. You have to understand how to utilize your word sword. The Bible calls your tongue a sword because it will slice and dice, right? So if you can slice and dice that negative situation and turn it around in your favor, turn it into a positive situation, watch how things begin to change for you. And it's thank you because I needed a reminder. Um, it's also the energy of whenever you're trying to manifest, you can't manifest when you have negative thinking. You can only manifest. Well, you should only manifest when you're in the positive mindset. Otherwise, you're going to manifest some negative things into your life. And so, with this, keep your mind focused on all things positive. Keep your mind focused on the things that get out of your situation and not perpetuate the situation even further. Because at that point, now you're gonna have to try to figure out how to get yourself out. Because guess what? You're gonna be so in tune to those problems that you're gonna miss the words that spirit is saying to you or the people that spirit sends to you. You're gonna miss it. And you're gonna dig that hole deeper and deeper and deeper. So it is important. It's very important that when you are, I would even say during the season, even during the retrograde season, right? Speak those things, speak positive things to those situations. Because what will happen is that it's like you adding gasoline to a fire instead of trying to get the fire out. You're adding fuel to the flame and it's not gonna help. So collective, pick pick which one of these cards mostly closely relates to your situation and please heed the words. Please heed the words. Um, you know what? I didn't even read this card. I don't think I did. No, I didn't. So it says, when you are wrong, admit it. When you are right, be quiet. Just say yes to fasten up or shutting up as the situation warrants. You'll be all around way more likable to everyone, including yourself, if you need to. Keep a list of all the times you were absolutely right. Just be sure you burn it before you die so you don't ruin the illusion forever.
I
Um,
love that.
right. And that goes along with don't be the know-it-all. Is what I get. Don't be that one person that was in your class that knew it all and sat like this. Because I'm right. I'm right and you wrong. Spirit is like, don't do that. That's catty. That's petty. That's not what you need in this season. Just admit
And
when
you
you're
can never
wrong.
learn.
Right, exactly. Just admit when you're wrong. Oh, okay, I was wrong. I stand corrected and keep it pushing. That's why even on this platform, even on my personal platform, I always say, if you find out something that I say is wrong or incorrect, please correct me. I'm still human. I'm not spirit, right? I'm still human. Humans make mistakes. And I think that when we start to put people on a pedestal, when we start to view people, and not to say that you all put people on a pedestal, I'm just let me make that clear. I'm just saying, but when we start to awe people, when we start to praise people, we forget that they're human. So don't forget your humanity side by trying to always be right and always seem right, right? So um I just noticed I hadn't read that card. But again, if you find yourself within these cards, please take heed to what is being said. Please take heed to what is being said because that's your message for right now, especially during this retrograde, especially when things start to come up again. You might have feelings um, that remind you of days in the past when you start trying to think about, oh, when such and such got killed in a car accident. Oh, well, this is when the time when I put my tire and I was late for work. No, 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 baby. Don't be thinking about those things. Think about the time when somebody got you a lottery ticket for Christmas and you won $10,000. Hey, it could have been $50, right? Think about those things. Think
Hello.
about the things that made you happy during a certain period. Because what you're going to do is you're going to be putting it out there. I want these things. I want to attract these things again. But integrity is the new black. Again, just be integrous. Just be integrous. I know you want to get that sucker back. I know you want to get that hole and beat her with a bat, right? Those are actual songs, by the way. You
Okay, so
know, okay. So I know you want to do so many things, but just be integrous during this time because remember, this is retrograde when the planets move slower. So what do you think will happen when they go back to normal speed? All those things you did will catch back up to you. So just do it with integrity. That's why, as you said earlier, don't make big investments and make plans or changes during a retrograde, right? Because you make those changes, and guess what? It's going to all come back when the planets get back on natural orbit.
right.
And then when you are wrong, when you are right, be quiet. I mean, I gave a full detail already. I don't. It's actually don't know it all.
Like, like,
Mhm.
uh,
Right. hmm Don't be that person uh, that's got to be. While I was saying that, I just heard gossip too. Don't be a gossiper during this time because when I'm getting a visual, but I'm hearing it at the same time. What I'm seeing is that the people that you gossip to go back and carry secrets that are untrue. Like they twist your words and then go back and tell the person. oh, well, I talked to such and such, and they said that and the third, and you didn't even say those things. You made me maybe even start off your conversation. Well, I don't want to gossip, but this is what I heard, and this is my opinion. And then it goes from that to, oh, child, well, let me tell you, such and such came to me, and they told me that you did X, Y, and Z, and their opinion, or your opinion, I should say, is what they twist because then they said that you did X, Y, and Z. And now you have a person that's mad with you for no reason. And this is why I'm hearing gossip folks right now. I'm seeing gossip girl. Like if you want a if you want a true and Pretty Little Liars. I'm seeing all these things. If you want to understand what gossip does, listen to that song, Gossip Folks, or watch any of those shows if you haven't already. And you can get a clear idea of what happens when you release something out of your mouth that you're not 100% sure of. Watch how it takes on a life of its own. Watch how far it goes. Watch how deep it goes. Watch how destructive it can be. And then watch out how it can affect your life. And if not yours, uh, your life, the life of your offspring, the life of those in your family. Because karma will attack a bloodline. It doesn't, karma doesn't, karma's like, okay, well, if I can't get you, guess that grandson on the way. Don't worry, I'll wait. And Karma would sit there and wait and pull out her little date book and say, oh, February 16th. Uh-huh. Junior was born. Uh-huh. Well, I'm gonna have to go visit Junior. And now your grandson is dealing with things that you started. Yeah. So that's all I have to say for right now.
No, I love that beat. That is so accurate. Just to build off of what you said, karma is the most patient gangster, and this is why I've learned answers from life because we don't know what karma our forefathers, our ancestors, our ascended masters had prior to us coming on this planet. Prior to us entering this, we don't know what karma our ancestors had. So it's so
Listen.
imperative for us to be sure that we are clearing that karma. And the first thing we can do is clear it is the heal so that we are aware of our triggers, aware of our trauma, aware of our pain, so that we can repeat cycles. So please, if at all possible, heal. Heal yourself.
Mhm.
Why you change the world? They haven't changed the world. You change the world, you change yourself. All right? So,
Right.
y'all
Oh,
know, y'all know what time it is.
yes.
Y'all know what time it is. It's time we play tarot the test. And welcome everyone online. Ask me your chance to throw any question under the sun this way. You will let the cards do the talking. Now, you ask me anything, past life, career, insight, your dream that you had last night. Nothing is off limits. So let's get into it. Drop your comment and drop your question in the comments. Correct. How many times twisted? Drop your question in the comments and while you are pondering what's we're going to use this time to thank you. Yes, so that we appreciate and value everyone. We thank you for all the shares, for all the likes, for all the comments. And I had one young lady on today when I was doing my tarot card spread who said that she spread the word to all of her friends
That's
for
good.
them to follow us. So, and I was like, oh,
Oh,
Lord. And she
thank
to the
you.
point. My life when I was doing tarot because I was playing cards, but I was join us in a part of the conversation podcast. I said, See, yeah, shoot back. I said, okay, so cool to hear from you. I didn't get a chance to take down your handle, but please, if you are still considering coming over and being a guest on our show, this is being open for people to come over and get their insight. We have yet to have any special guests on. I just realized that we'll be our 60 episodes in. It's just been me and you, right? 60
Yes,
episodes in. And
I
it's just been me and you.
and I know someone. I'm going to ask her if she would love to join us because it's some other things that I want to introduce. It's a topic that I've been kind of working out that I've been wanting to talk to you about. So we'll talk about it. But yeah. But I also wanted to share this because I almost forgot until I looked down. So whenever you was talking about for the creatives and burning an orange candle, you can also meditate with this crystal right here is lapis lazuli.
Oh, I love lapis lazuli. That's my
Yes,
favorite. Oh,
and you can hold this and meditate to get your creative juices flowing. Okay.
I love that.
Yep.
That's one of my favorites. Thank you for educating us on that because I have a necklace. Lapis lazuli. Now, yeah, we have a question in the comments.
I I, I
Ask
heard.
expedition.
You know what? And the thing is, I don't, and I'm going to say this before I pull the cards. I don't think it's going to ever stop going crazy, and it's because of human nature. Um, Sometimes I wish that I could share my lived experiences with you all because when I say I truly see things differently than most people, and I look at the world and I'm like, how are people seeing this? How are people saying this? How are people not understanding that this will not work? And the spirit has to remind me they're humans operating out of a humanistic mind, not elevating their mind, and whose focus is on self. So then we have greed. And when you're looking at greed, what happens is that everything gets pushed out the door. Morals, integrity, as we talked about tonight, gets pushed out the door. And so when all of that happens, people are just run on this high and mighty, all powerful, nothing can touch me until it does. Um, I mean, and we've seen it over and over and over again. And that's why history repeats itself because people, I just heard, oh my goodness, I just heard history repeats itself because people don't know how to close cycles. I promise you. I promise you. I said, oh, that's why I stopped. Because what I saw was um, ancient rulers. Like we know that Europe still has a king queen type of dynamic, right? But I was seeing past that, like in the past, all over. The reason why so many empires failed, it wasn't necessarily because of their strategy, but it was because of what was in here. Because anybody that had a good heart ran and their city multiplied, their city grew, right? But when you can start down talking and start being greedy, you can steal from those that surround you. You can steal ideas. You can zap the life out of people. So that's what happens. But when they get too greedy, they stop thinking about the things that they have to do to keep up that appearance. Think of this: when a liar lies, they have to continue those lies, and then they have to lie some more to keep up with those lies. It's that same frequency. I want you to understand, and I'm not saying that they are lying, but I'm not going to put it past them either. But what I will say is that that greed is on that same frequency, that it's like you're so blinded by everything that you put out in your make believe world that when somebody finds that thread to unthread it, it's nothing you can do because you didn't cover it. It wasn't covered. All right. So, Ashley, to answer your question, three cards came out. I have 3, 1, and 12. 3, 1, and 12. If you add that all up, that's what 31, 12. That's what 4, 5, 7. And the first card, 3, says it will work out soon. 3 days, 3 weeks. 1, it is almost going too fast. 1 day, 1 week. And 12, it is going well now. 12 days, 12 weeks. And it also depends because you said generally when America going to stop going crazy, and that means that it may be some significant things that are going to happen within. I'm going to say weeks, within 3 weeks, within 1 week, 3 weeks, and 12 weeks. Within 3 weeks, you may see something personally getting changed. And then a week from that, you'll see some other things in your life start to change. Maybe something on the job shifts and change, right? We are coming along the line, right? And then within 12 weeks, what is that? 3 months later? Yeah, 3 months later, things are going to be fine for some people. And I say some people because it takes me back to the beginning of the year when Ashley and I talked. And we talked about, I talked about how I was seeing how although things are cloudy and smoky, we still have to keep going because it's the unknown. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what's coming down the road. We don't know what plans and what things are going to happen in the future. But what we do know is that we have to survive because who told us that we can't survive doing this? Who told us that we can't build again? Look how many times America has gone. Like I remember, I'm going through the history books. The what was it? The Great Chicago Fire, the New York Fire. Uh, although Tulsa never have it, okay, even the LA fires right now. California tends to get fires a lot, and they constantly rebuild. I just got to reveal. Um, so when I was speaking that when you said the LA fires, what I saw was just like we have to treat this thing. We have to treat whatever is going on, no matter where you're in from. And I want you to listen to me clearly and carefully. It does not matter where you live. It doesn't matter. You have to treat this situation that you're going through like a natural disaster. When the natural disaster is over, you will you can and will become greater because you learn from those experiences. You can and will still have your heart's desire and your dreams. But again, it has to start within this heart. What was the message again? Yeah, who told you that you could not do it? So when the world gets crazy, that's when you stay balanced the most. Because what I'm getting is, do y'all remember the spaceship ride at the fair? And how when you're on the ride, you of course you press up against the wall and you going up and down like the wall, right? On the inside, you can look and see everybody's face that's in there. I mean, it might take you a while to turn your head this way and turn that way because of gravity, but you see things clearly. It's the outside that sees it going like this. And they're like, I don't know if I want to get on that ride. But to you, it's just like, okay, well, I'm moving at this fast speed. I can hardly move, but I can see everything clearly. And it's that same thing. You have to be so centered that even though the world around you, think about you being on earth. Thank you, Spirit. The earth is constantly in rotation, even though to us, nothing's moving. The only time we can tell is when that sun comes up and when that moon comes up. When that shift happens, that's when we know, oh, the time has changed. Otherwise, people be like, oh, well, I didn't feel the earth move, so maybe the earth isn't moving. Um, and so we have to realize that even during this season, with everything being chaotic around us, we have to command our stability, whatever your stability is. We have to command that it stabilizes. We have to command it. So if you've been laid off on a job, command that other job to go ahead and find you with benefits, right?
Right.
With benefits. Command those things to new job, come to me now, expeditiously, with benefits. Of course, I need you to be a little bit more specific because you know what type of job you want, right? Be specific, but put it out in the atmosphere and command it to come to you. Command your bank account to, I heard, have a steady flow of income. If you have stock, command your stocks to stop falling. You have to command these. So, and another thing about why the world is so crazy is because people have forgotten natural ability. There, and I'm going to always share this. There is a group of people who do not understand how the spiritual world works. And there are some of us that know how, and they demonize it because they can't do it. And the only reason why they can't do it is because they have not opened up their mind to understand what to do. It's the same instance of, I forgot what movie it was, and the people was showing people cars, and they were like, I don't I don't know about that. That looks like it's dangerous. And they said it could be. I think it was midnight petals of the moon or something like that. Oh my goodness, it's the indigenous movie that came out what last year I want to say. Um, but yeah, either way, uh-uh. It's like midnight flower, midnight bloom, or something like that. If you know what I'm talking about, please let me know. Um, let me see. No, I'm looking at Midnight Bloom by Victoria's Secret. That is not what I'm. That is not what I'm saying. That is not what I'm going for. Um, but yeah, either way, um, the people were scared of the car until they learned how to use it. And when they learned how to use it, it was no problem for them to just have the car. Oh, I'm going to go to the store. You want to ride with me? Okay, come on. You know, and so it's that thing is people are scared of things that they don't know until they try it. And that is the very similar thing to what we're saying. People are scared of what they could do if they change that mind. They would rather, that's why when you see in a company, when you have the older workers that was there saying, "Oh, well, we don't want to change. We want to do things the same way," and you have a new group that says it's not working anymore. Like, think about the computers. Like, I had the fortunate age of coming to be when, well, technically all of us up here, right, the host, we had a chance to see computers when they first. became home size, and people could start taking computers home. And we had the analog screen, and then people start changing it and switching it. And there were a few times people were scared of computers. I don't know how to work this thing, and they're trying to track down my every move, and they got a tracker in here, and people were scared to send emails, and I,
Yeah, I remember.
people were scared of the computer. Now go anywhere and people will use the computer. Like I was shocked when my mom first sent me a text message, and I wasn't so shocked as the point like, oh my gosh, my mom is using technology. It was almost just like we are here now, where my aging mother sent me text messages. And now and then she got to the emojis and she started using the emojis correctly. And to put to paint the picture, my mother just turned 80 years old. And so when you go back in history and go back in time to see what types of things they had to deal with, like they progressed with us, but they had to come to the age of this and accept the new things in order to grow. And let's face it, there's still some things that our parents still don't know, which is why it's important for us. And I talked about this recently, why it's important for those of you who are spiritual to go ahead and start teaching that to your children, to your nieces and nephews, to the kids around you, because, and I'm going to share this story real quick and I'm going to shut up because I could go on. But and I think I shared this before, but I had a cousin who had other cousins, and they all have sight gifts, and they all came to him because they didn't know who else they could trust or that they could go to talk about this issue, right? And so what happened is that some people begin to drink, some people begin to smoke just to get it out, right? To get out of their heads. And he sat them all down and said, I need you to talk because all of you are experiencing the same things and you think you're going crazy and you're not. You just have a gift. And so I said that to say there's so many kids growing up hearing voices and seeing things and not understanding what they're hearing or seeing, and they don't tell their parents because their parents may brush it off as, "Oh, you need to start watching all them cartoons at night. You need to start going to sleep with that TV on." No, they could be legit seeing stuff.
Mhm.
I started my dream started when I was about 4 or 5 years old, and I mean detailed dreams that I still remember to this day. And when you don't have the verbiage to share what you're seeing and to give an explanation as to your experiences, people will call it demonic. Okay, one more story. I had a discernment, not had, I have a discernment gift. But when I was younger, I didn't know how it operated. So I just knew that sometimes when I went into a place, it was almost like I went through a portal. So remember when Sabrina the Teenage Witch, the original TV show, when she would walk
Yeah.
through the window, I mean through the mirror, and it was like the ripple effect. That's what it felt like to me. It was like I walked into somewhere new and I would just stand there because it would go through me. And I remember talking about it to my at the time pastor, and he told me, he said, you need to pray because those demonic spirits that are around you. It was half the truth, right? What he didn't tell me was that you have a very powerful discerning gift, and let me sit down and teach you how to use this gift. Nobody taught me that, and so I went along all these many years later, trying to figure out why I was feeling waves. Those waves went in to, okay, now I'm getting this funny feeling around this person. I'm just starting to hear stuff. And now at this stage, it all comes together. The picture is clear. That's great.
We also not, or they don't understand. So it's probably not so much the pastor thought that it was so demonic, but I don't even know that he knew to his ability how to articulate what exactly was going on, because that probably was never explained to him. And people will demonize things that they
Exactly.
don't understand because they can't articulate what exactly they want to say because they don't understand. And with him being
Mhm.
probably older, I'm assuming, so this generation is
Mhm.
probably baby boomers. They believe in the Pisces. Whatever, the Bible says is true. You have to remember a lot of things are wrong. It doesn't make it wrong. It's that nothing is perfect. It has to go within so that we don't go without.
Right.
Nothing is perfect. Nothing is 100%. And a lot of things that came before us, that were written before us, is flawed. Okay?
It
So
was.
just take what resonates and leave what doesn't. Take what resonates with your soul and leave what doesn't. This is why it's so imperative that you meditate so you can see what are what is resonating with your spirit, and then you need to just reject out of your spirit. Okay? Um,
Hmm.
so we hope that answered your question. And
If she's
yes,
still
yes,
on, because I went
if you're
off.
still on,
Right. I.
Kendra, comment. Um, it's totally okay if you go off course because we like to hear the story. Each story could help someone. Each one teach one, read one. So never hesitate to tell us a story because everything has a purpose and nothing happens at the residence. Hope that answered your story as. And we just want to thank you guys for being so brave, for being able to come on and your questions was not answered. You have questions that you weren't ready to present on the platform. You can always ask next week. You're on next Tuesday, every Tuesday, same time, same place. Thank you, Z. Breathe, we didn't even know that we need it as always. Guys,
You're welcome.
remember the cards. Don't get your faith, okay? They simply illuminate your choices. So choose wisely, love, and stay. We are just here to guide you, okay? But you want free will. So even if we read you guys like a book, you still have the option to go left or to go right. It is
Hmm.
totally up to you because you are blessed with the option of free will. So yes, that concludes episode 60 of Cards and Conversation. We will see you guys next time, same place, same time, same place, on Cards and Conversation, where every episode unfolds a day of be in discussion. Stay aligned. We love y'all.
Yes.
Stay blessed. Stay dangerous. Peace.
Peace.